Good morning. We're working on our dungeon crawler from before. Morning, everybody. Morning, afternoon, almost. So we last time looks like we made health. We made available ability for you to die in one of two ways. The enemy's spotting you and catching you. Basically, these zombies. See, they take down my health and bam, I'm dead. Okay, that could be done a little bit better. Tweak that. Good morning, Jasmine and Michael and Jason. I'm just taking a look at what we had last time. A few weeks ago, I wanted to play my Dongon music. What is Dongon music? I don't even know what that is.
I was talking about the dungeon music.
Dungeon. Ah. You wrote Dongon. I'm like, is that a genre of music I don't know about?
No.
Dungeon music. Okay. Dungeon music.
But we're less in a dungeon and more of the pits of. Am I allowed to say the word, or should I just go HE double hockey sticks?
Ha! You can say that word. You can definitely say that word. Go ahead. I know what you mean. We're doing kind of a hellish, kind of heckish, whatever, right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. You know, in my live streams, I'm still titling it. Live stream's up, by the way, if people want to join. I'm still titling it as a dungeon kind of thing. But you're right. We've evolved sort of the idea a little bit, which I like. I think we've got something really cool going on. And I think what I wanted to do last time is some things like I had this idea. I didn't hear anybody else echo that they liked the idea, so we won't do it if you don't want to do it. But I like the idea of like floating islands that your character can actually get to, like an orbiting island that like these areas that you can go onto. Like how cool would that be? And if you want, we can design that today.
Like the dungeons in Breath of the Wild, they're like sort of mini challenges that you can do for
Yeah, I haven't played Breath of the
bonuses.
Wild, but has anybody else played that? You understand? You kind of like um, know it. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just thinking like more areas of the level that could have like small quests and stuff on it. But why does everything in a level have to be static? Why does it have to be sitting there all the time? What if it was like moving along and you can go? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. We're kind of going through this magical hell, nether, other world kind of thing. So there's really no limit to what we can do. We can do a lot. We have these fire creatures. I mean, we could do a lot of really creative, innovative stuff. And I thought maybe first I had thought like, okay, a floating island that you could like reach at some point. You take a bridge to, or take a levitation potion. I mean, I don't know. We could do so much stuff. But then I'm like, well, what if the islands are kind of always ever moving, and maybe some submerged into the lava? And I don't know. But if you want, we could design that today, or other things we could design. So maybe we'll do a poll or something. But it's between that environmental style design or more systems design, which we need more systems design, but we've been doing kind of a lot of it lately, which is great. So there's those guys over there as monsters. I wonder if those guys, if those zombies should be able to, like, cast a spell at you or something. If they, or if they should just go up and have to be close to you to hurt you. What do you guys think? Should there be like spell casting or something?
Well, we could definitely have like a sort of ranged class.
A range class? Okay.
Yeah, that the zombies could sort of take. So they'll be able to throw maybe like a fireball.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, fireball would be great. Oh yeah, that's right. Jasmine wants the freaking vomiting magma thing, which is so like scary sounding. How would we do that? It'd probably have to be a particle. Let's see if we got any like. Do we have a waterfall particle? If so, we can turn that into um, what your idea is, Jasmine, real fast. Let's Okay, so I'm gonna filter for particles. Particle system. Okay. Ooh, we do. We do have these waterfalls. We do have these splashes and stuff. So let's see what we get. It would be good to have like a lava waterfall in general, actually, too. Just in general. All right, what is that? Oh, that really just looks like clear old water. Okay, so that's something. We have some splashes, falling water. Let's take a look at that. What's that gonna look like? Ooh, that I might even like more. Another falling water here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is let's duplicate that particle system, and we're gonna name it falling lava. And we're gonna edit the particle. So if I open up this, it's gonna open up the particle editor. Particle editor is called Cascade. It looks a little different, the interface, than the rest of Unreal. But it's where we control, edit, and make particles. So this one's pretty darn subtle. I can't even see it in here. Let's see. There's a way to change the background. So it's because if you got like a black particle or like almost clear particle and against the black background, it's impossible to see. Which is what's going on right now. So let's see if I can just get that background color to be like light green or something. Okay, yeah, now I can see the dark kind of shaded of the particle. So first thing I want to do is let's change the color of our particle to something that is more lava-like. So we'll put some reds in there. All this stuff kind of happens in ranges, some oranges. We have something like scale color by life. So you'll find colors and particles will be in multiple things. So we don't want these, we want oranges, we want reds, we want that kind of stuff. So messing around with that. Okay, that's something. Initial location, initial velocity, acceleration. That all is going to control how big it is, things like that. Size. You probably want the size to be bigger. We want it to be, lava-like, so thicker. So like out value. So if I increase these numbers from 1 to 5, we get a lot more on screen. You see how that it's sort of hard to tell, but we've got a much bigger, busier situation going on with the fire, the lava. I like that. Scale, color, life. Let's look for scale stuff. Alpha over life, maybe, maybe not. Dynamic. We also want to let's see if there's a material associated with this. It's probably is. So if we go to required, we have this material called M splash foam. And actually modifying this is probably going to give us the most lava-ness out of this. So here's a material. Again, this came with this kit. So we're going to modify this material to be lava-like. So I don't want to modify the original in case I want to go back and use water for something. So let's duplicate that. And we're just going to M splash foam lava. All right. And we'll open that up. Get rid of this one, and we're going to tell our material, hey, you're using the lava version of it. And it looks crazy because it isn't compiled quite yet. Give it a minute. As we're doing this, as it's actually stalling on me, maybe it'll crash. I just had a thought. I think I might want to not do it like with a particle. I think what I'd rather do, and maybe we won't do this right now because I feel like I want to get more into our level first, but for that effect, that attacking effect, maybe the best thing to do would be have like burning hot lava stones that pour out of the guy's mouth or is accelerated using the velocity, and that way the stones can actually like hit you, and it wouldn't be a particle. So we use a and we just use Unreal's built-in physics system. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So That's what we'll do, I think. So I'm actually gonna step back and not do the particle thing at the moment. Just not at the moment. All right. So I didn't hear a lot of like shouting, like, "Yes, you got to do the islands, the floating island idea." But I didn't hear anybody say no. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do that right now, and I'm gonna just see how that works out. So, because I really think one thing I want to talk about is like this Citadel. I think there could be really cool stuff, like stuff orbiting the Citadel, all scary and magic like. So I think there should be some really cool stuff with that. So, let's begin. So there's a couple things we could do right off the bat. I'm going to show you this real quick. It's pretty neat. So I can add what's called a rotating movement component to anything in the world. And a rotating movement component will rotate something. So now that I've put this rotating movement component on it, I got to make sure it's set to movable. Okay? Now, but if I play, look at this thing you're going to see in the air over here. See what's happening? Okay? It's like legitimately rotating. A little bit too fast for my liking, so let's go in here and change that down to like, I don't know, 30. But we can also pivot it around something. You spin me right around. You can pivot it around an invisible location that'll cause it to kind of orbit. So if I do this pivot translation, what's the translation for this guy right now? XY. Okay, so let's just try adding like 2,000. No, 4,000 to the X axis. And now let's hit play and see what happens there. Okay, so we're getting something. Good for obstacles and stuff too. Like you gotta avoid something. Oh, I just walked in the lava. Darn it. So I think what would be cool is you take a similar idea of what I just did, you put it around this Citadel, and that could be kind of part of the Citadel, these floating structures, so to speak. Also, I don't really like this mesh, so let's give it a different mesh real quick. Just any old rock mesh, that'll do it. And then I'm gonna make a copy, and well, okay, let's hit simulate, make sure our orbit is correct, so to speak. So it's not really, so let's bring that around. It's not bad. So what we could do is we could offset some of this stuff from each other. So I can put this one closer. I can change how far. I could change it from 4,000 to 3,000. I could leave this one at 4,000. I can change the speed slightly. This one's going to be at 50. I could also change the mesh itself to be some other kind of mesh, which I will right now. We can make another one, another copy. Okay, this one could be smaller. Let's change the rotating movement speed on that, maybe 40 or something, maybe 2,600, or yeah, 2,600 is the pivot. Now I do this thing, and now we've got like this really intimidating Citadel that has things orbiting around it because it's so, evil. Whatever. I mean, like, and what if you can go on those things is what I'm saying. And maybe they're going a little bit too fast, but I think it's a really neat idea. And you know what I can, yeah, it's a pretty neat idea. So, let's see that from a player perspective. Let's slow it down a little bit. We'll just slow them down. They're a little bit too fast for it to feel scary. So I'm put that from 30 down to 10. And this one was at sorry, these are grouped. I want to ungroup them. Whatever. This one will go down to, I don't know, 15, that kind of thing. All right, now it's going to be more kind of a slower thing. Very fantastical, You know, very, very much so. So I like that effect. Now, what about getting one that the player can actually go on? That sounds so sick. So let's see what we can make here that would be appropriate for that. So I want some flattish rocks because I really do have to think like, okay, the player is going to actually be going into this system. It's going to be it needs to be traversable, so to speak. So, some really nice choices here. Try them out. Oh, that one's really big though. That kind of is an island. But I don't like that you can see behind the geometry. I could fix that, but let's see if we can just start out with a really easy to use mesh. Maybe not right for the floating island, but I do like how it looks. I think it would be, it almost looks like that could be a good mesh for either an island or for the base of the Citadel for when you get to it eventually. Let's actually put it at the base of the Citadel then. Yeah, right? Something like that. So, we can probably, yeah, let's do this. Let's make a blueprint out of this floating island that you can get to. That way we can always do all kinds of interesting stuff to it. So let's make this actor BP floating island 1. And maybe, you know, like a little cave in the island. Like, we could get intricate with it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some static meshes to our island. And I know that in starter content, there's one thing called rock that I really like. Oh, we got some of these cave rocks and stuff. Oh, and some flat land. Okay, yeah, so we'll make it in the blueprint. We'll have a little bit more control over it that way. And so I like that. That's something the player can obviously step onto. It's flat enough, so make a copy of that. Okay. Do some rotating around so there's some things the player can kind of hop onto from place to place. Okay, let's do another copy of that. We're going to be putting a lot of static meshes together, you know. Make another copy of that. You know, potentially having enemies on here would be really cool. Oops. Another copy. Let's do some sort of kind of walls almost, or even like something like that, even like that kind of cave that you can go into. That actually might be fine. Let's do some sort of rock wall. So I'm gonna change the rock type, and let's see what we got here. That one looks pretty good. Oops. Control W to copy. Okay, Control W again, making another copy. Let's do Control W again. Let's increase the kind of sort of island cave thing that's going to be floating around. And I mean, honestly, I would not have thought to make this a blueprint at first, but I actually think that's a really good move to make. It's actually a little bit easier to design in a blueprint than it is in the level for me. I don't know why that is, but right, because a blueprint is a completely different thing than a level. Well, technically your level is actually a blueprint still. That's why there's a place to code on your level called the level blueprint. All right, so that's what it's like to be inside of this cave kind of thing. And hopefully we'll test later to make sure the player can actually fit inside of this, that it's not too short for the player. kind of like the idea of it kind of expanding in here once the player goes in through a narrow entrance. So we'll do this kind of thing. Gonna make it get wider as they go in. And we need some more kind of rockiness. Again, you'll see that things repeat like that, so the good thing to do is just, rotate the thing around. And then the player will feel like it's a different rock, even though it's an exact copy of that rock that we just used. Okay. What you guys thinking? You like it? I'm kind of liking the way it's looking. It's weird. We're like designing these little levels within levels. Oh yeah, definitely rock spikes for sure. That looks good. When you got good static meshes like that, you can push them into each other like that, and it's not gonna look weird. That's really good. Okay. All right, since you suggested it, Jason, we'll add in some rock spikes. I think that was a good idea. We also got rock. Ooh, let's do the downward rock spikes. These can't really be at an angle though, right? Because the reason they turn into spikes is because of gravity, so. Let's make them a little smaller. We still want them kind of hanging off. All right, let's do this as 0.15. Make a copy as well, and I just want like a lot smaller ones. 0.05, almost like little icicles or something, all right, and did not get the rotation on that exactly correctly. Something like that. We'll come out and we'll do a decorating phase, with this at some point. But let's just see how that would look in the world, flying around. Player can get on it and stuff. All right, so let's find our floating island. Hopefully it's a good size. This was me messing around, so delete that. Bring out floating island. Ooh, it doesn't look very big. I may have to increase the size on that. Or how about this? Before we get it to float, let's just put it right here as a test. Can the player fit into this little level piece we've made? All right, so play and test it. Okay, and definitely not. Okay, wow, that was way smaller than I realized. That's okay. You know what I should have done? This is always really smart. What you should do, and we'll do this now. Add component. We'll do a skeletal mesh, and just add your mesh as a preview actor. So I could do this, and if I had done that, I would have been like, oh, okay, the guy clearly is too small. But now I can use it for reference, and I can just delete him. Or what I'll do is I can set his hidden in-game property to checkmarked, which means he'll show up in my blueprint, but he won't be in the game. So, all right, so I just learned a lot from that. So let's increase the scale on a lot of this stuff. I could increase the scale on the whole blueprint overall, but I'd rather just kind of get it right. So we'll do this. Since this floor stuff's kind of like acting as a base for everything, let's just scale all that up real fast. And then we'll scale up the walls. So everything there is at 1. Let's set it all to 2. Bam. Okay, so that would be more the size of the floor relative to all that. So is that going to work? Now let's do that with this right here. Size should be 2. Okay. What was the height it was at? It's at a 115 on the Z. All right, so let's double that. Let's go up to 115 to 230, something like that, 240. Still too short. Okay, let's just bring it up more. And these big rock guys, we're gonna bring up majorly, double the size of those. And obviously the positioning of the stuff needs to be modified. We just lost our cave kind of, but that's all right. Bring this way out there. And this stuff way over here. And the spikes that Jason wanted, we're going to bring those way up there. Feel free to keep putting in suggestions in the chat, guys, because this is your game, our game. There's a lot we could do with it. But I like to know what you like. So, okay, we've got that. Obviously, the roof isn't big enough, really. So, what we can do is, I can make should it be one stone? Yeah, let's keep it one kind of stone. Control Z, Control Z. Let's make that 2.5 big. And that way it's, real big. And this goes out farther. And these also go out a lot farther. Maybe lava boulders. We do like our lava, I know that. Oops, Control Z, okay. All right, I believe it should be tall enough. There's definitely more to be done with it to make it look a little better. And this is just the beginning. I think we can make quite a large area to explore with something like this. Lloyd says maybe we should, haven't heard from you, Lloyd, in a while. Thank you. Maybe we should have little rock alcoves or mini caves the player could hide in as enemies. Perfect. Going with the theme of the whole game, Dungeon Crawler. I like that idea a lot. Little alcoves the player can strategically hide in. Okay, so there's an example of it. Can we walk through it? And we can. Okay, so this is going to be floating soon enough. All right, and let's do that now. So how are we going to make that float? I could add like that rotating movement component kind of thing to it, or we could do something else. So what I could do is I could create what's called a level sequence, where I can kind of guide it around the level however I want. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go to cinematics, add level sequence. We're going to name this floating island 1. And what we're going to do is hit add. At the beginning of the game, it should just like come from the lava or something. Maybe. So at the beginning of the game, we'll hit add track, active sequencer. We're going to add the floating island sequencer. Add track, we want to change its transform. Keyframe, move forward in time. And then start to move this stuff to where we want it to end up. So if I do something like that, now it's going to take us from one location to the other. If I hit play, you'll see how it's moving? And then we're slowly rising. Okay. I rather like that, and so why don't we then, as it continues through there, get it to kind of go this way and start to float and almost start to turn a little bit. Would be really cool. Keyframe. All right, so now you'll see it should do that sort of thing. So I hit play. You see it's coming through. Going through. Going a little too fast there, but starting to rotate into the direction. Okay, so more lava would spill out as it comes. Oh my gosh, yeah. Good point, Mia Lauren. Yeah, and that would actually justify even more so getting that lava waterfall particle to work, because that's exactly where I would use it, probably, so all right, so I made a copy of it, not mean to do that. Control Z, Control Z. All So let's continue rising, continue going over this way. Oh, I love the shadow it casts over the landscape. That's really cool. Continue to turn. Maybe even like slightly do that a little bit. We'll keyframe it again. All right, see how that looks. Here it goes. Ooh-wee, we're on a floating island, everybody. Oh yeah, and then starting to kind of turn right a little bit. That looks really fun. So it's very original. Here it goes floating, and so eventually we want to kind of maybe make the rounds. But let's just test that since we don't have a ton of time for that. But let's test it. I do actually think I need to provide a way for a player to jump onto this real fast. So what we'll do is, all right, I'm gonna be really lame. I'm just gonna make an artificial bridge here, just because I want our player to be able to like run to this thing quickly. How are they gonna even get on it? No, I know what I'll do. Can we just for testing purposes, we'll do it like maybe like that. Okay, so we gotta make sure that our level sequence is set to autoplay in the beginning. It's not right now. So if I hit play, I don't think it'll be moving. We gotta set autoplay to play. Yeah, so what we'll do is we will set autoplay. Now it should move. You should see the island moving. There it goes, and there's no way I'm gonna get there in time. Oh my gosh, I made it. Oh, okay. I kind of made it for a second there. One more time. Actually, give me at least a fighting chance. Let's move our player start at least a little closer. Jeezo. Ah! Okay, we did it. We're on an island, everybody. Whoa, and we're flying. And there's our enemies down there, and there's the Citadel with the orbiting planets and whatnot. I bet we can go in that cave down here now. Wow. Oh my gosh, there's our view from our floating cave. Really cool. Oh my gosh, it's bringing us towards the bad guys. Imagine if you could do like a weapon or something from up here. Wow, this is a really kind of amazing game experience right now. And I want you guys, like designers, to think about how we can. It's flying, exactly. We just made it flying. Think of a way that we can leverage this, what we just did, into the game for the future, because this might be one of my favorite things I've developed in any class, and then I die. This might be one of my favorite things, just because that was really fun to just fly. Let's do it one more time, okay? One more time, and then I'll let you go. Yeah, spell, bow and arrow. Oh, no way I'm gonna make that in time. Anything like that would be great. But yeah, think about how do we. Oh, jeez, I did not have time to do that one. All right, here we go. Ah, no! Okay, I made it. All right, we're flying. We're on top of our island. I mean, can you? Yeah, how do we do this? How do you get on an island? Are they always orbiting? Can you charter them? Like they're almost like a way of travel in this world, so to speak, to go from land to land. I mean, I don't know, but I just know that look at that. It's so cool that I really think we have to include that in the game design. Cool. Oh, Jason Smith left. All right, Jason, I guess you're not getting the assignment. People who leave, we still have one more minute left. So unless I dismiss you, you are not allowed to leave. And this goes for everybody in every class. Okay, wow, we could really do a lot with that. So interesting. Yeah, we could do bow and arrow, shoot that guy from up here kind of thing. Oh, I see. Then it sends itself back into lava because I have it set to reset at the end. So we'll disable that for sure. All right, so I feel like it was a really cool experiment that actually worked out. I'd like to continue in that area. It wasn't you, Mendez. It was another student, another Jason. And I guess they're going to fail the assignment because I'm giving the assignment right now. So what we're going to do, and by the way, live stream, thanks for watching.